episode of Beach Boss. That was our producer, Shona. We'll say hi to her right now. I'm Michelle, you as your host. This week, we have Ray Paulick, as usual, but we're bringing in the big guns. We have with us TVG stalwart and my very good friend and mom goal forever, Christina Blacker. She's going to be taking on right Ray. You have your head down right now. I don't know if you're just advertising the Paulick reporter or if you're already hiding from Christina.
I can hardly hear you, Michelle. I don't know if it's my computer or not. I'm trying to.
Could be me.
Could be you, but it's good to be here. And, I love Del Mar. I love talking about anything Del Mar related, especially the racing. And it's going to be a great card today, really top to bottom. But I think the Bing Crosby is one of the more wide open races on the entire day. The longer I looked at the race, the more I was talking myself into other horses back and forth. So this was really hard for me, admittedly, to narrow down who I wanted to select this afternoon.
Well, I mean, the good news is there's not a ton of pressure because so far Ray's been on here. He's blanked in every event that we've had. And I think both of our guests have blanked as well. So it definitely could just be your turn to get lucky. Like I said, no real pressure on. I want to know what's the angle that you're going to go with. Before you guys reveal your picks, Christina. Ray had started off with win bets only. And he did hit his first horse, which coincidentally was Hit the Road. Unfortunately, he didn't pay very good because Christina was unloading hand over fist there. She definitely wanted to pay for tuition for all the girls' school this year and ice cream for all of our kids. So the price wasn't great. And I think that he started to diversify a bit now. But what's your angle going into this?
So I ended up making a couple of wagers just because the horse that I like, and not to reveal too much, I'm not crazy about the post for my top selection. So rather than going all in, I wasn't as confident to put all the money there. So I wanted to spread it out a little bit more. I thought about making a show bet on a price horse that I kind of like. I ended up just going with my top two selections, win and place on both of them, in hopes that my top selection can get there because I think he will be a better price. But if the post hurts him, there's another horse that I have a lot of respect for that I think could jump up with a big race today.
All right, we don't want to give away your pick too early because I don't want Ray to steal it. So Ray, I'm going to start with you. Who is your pick in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby today? Big scratches in case everyone doesn't know. Kenzie not going to be running in here. So who do you like in lieu of the Bob Baffert training?
Well, I thought it was I didn't really have this problem of looking, at every horse in the race and thinking they had a chance. I think it's a two-horse race with Fashionably Fast and Collusion Illusion. And, that's what the morning line comes out at. I haven't seen the adjusted line after the scratches, but I've been a Collusion Illusion fan since he broke his maiden at Del Mar last year for Mark Glatt, came back and won the Best Pal very impressively. They tried to stretch him out in the American Pharoah. That didn't work. They, gave the horse plenty of time off, brought him back, and a lot of trainers, a lot of owners would have maybe pushed and said, hey, we've got a 3-year-old, they're delaying the Kentucky Derby. Let's see what we've got here. And they've stuck to sprinting. I think that's this horse's game. He is going against older horses, but he likes his track. So does Fashionably Fast. But I'm going with Collusion Illusion. All of the marbles to win on him. He'll be the second choice. He needs to pick it up a little bit. His buyer numbers aren't that good, and probably some of the other analytical numbers probably have him slower. But I think he's a horse one for the course, and it sets up for him because I believe we're going to have a really quick pace.
Well, you mentioned that, and obviously the way the Del Mar's been playing lately has really favored closers. So I think that does work against a couple of the horses that are going to be up in front and plays into Collusion Illusion strengths. I'm a little disappointed Ray, that you picked against my horse, and now I feel like
you might jinx me. Me and Christina are laughing. Ray's not laughing right now. You couldn't pick someone else that wasn't a horse that I just loved.
Well, listen, I've picked some winners in this contest, just not on Saturday. Saturday hasn't been my day.
Have you picked winners in the contest so far? Are you up to a positive number? Or are you still negative?
I'm negative. I had Hootie the other day. I've been mostly sticking with horses in the 8 to 12 to 1 range. Mm-hmm. And then when I see a race where I don't see a long shot coming in like today in the Crosby, I'm going with favorites. But the long shots have just not been running for me. And Hootie ran okay and hit the road. If I could have bet more on Hit the Road, I would have. It's one of those that when the race was over, I said, gee, I wish I could have bet more.
I agree with that, right? All right, Christina, bring it on. I'm guessing you're not going to use Collusion Illusion here.
Well, actually, I am. So part of my bankroll is going to go to Collusion Illusion. But the horse that I was alluding to as my top pick is Lexitonian at the rail. Last week, they planned to run him in the Vanderbilt. He's been pretty unlucky as far as the post position goes. He was stuck at the rail that day as well. And what happened at Saratoga that day, for anybody that's unaware, there was a gate malfunction with Whitmore. The gates came open, Whitmore came out for a moment, and as they were bringing him back around to take a look at him, Lexitonian was at the inside. He kind of reared up, he sat down in the gate, and then for a moment, he got his leg over the partition in the front of the gates. That's an automatic scratch in New York, so it was unfortunate for him. He didn't get the chance to participate. He has now had to fly out here. But Ray was talking about numbers and speed figures. I'm a big Thorograph player. His Thorograph figures are pretty strong in this race as compared to the rest of the field. So I'm going to go 25 win in place on Lexitonian as far as part of the budget goes. I don't love the rail for him, but what I do love is that he's had a chance to overcome this position in the past. He's been stuck down along the inside. He was stuck along the inside in the Concern at Laurel. He was stuck along the inside at Pimlico and the Chick Lang. And he's kind of a little horse that likes a fight. You watch him down the stretch and he doesn't look like he's going to win, but somehow in that last sort of 16th of a mile, he finds a little bit more. So I'm going to call on that sort of tenacity that he has and hope that he can overcome the inside post and see if Jack Sisterson can get his first grade 1 win today. It would be pretty exciting with Lexitonian. But then I am going to kind of back myself up a little. And if this horse does win by virtue of Ray's bet, he's going to kill me in here because I put another 25 win in place on Collusion Illusion. I do think he's the up-and-comer. I've always been a fan of this horse. He loves Del Mar for all the reasons that Ray mentioned. And I think he's training really well. And I like that, they're managing him to where he can be successful, putting him in these spots where he can do what he does best, which I think is, he's a clear sprinter. So I'll put a little bit of money on him, win in place. And then if anybody, not for our contest, but if you're looking for kind of a crazy price, and I think he's going to be much bigger than the morning line, Desert Law runs very big races second off the layoff. Mm-hmm. He's done this before where he runs that kind of a clunker to come back. It looks really bad. You lose faith in him. But then his second race off the bench is always pretty good. And he showed that in this race last year in the Bing Crosby. It was third off the layoff for him that day, but he was coming off of one of his career best efforts. So just for myself in terms of other, bets this afternoon, or if I'm playing pick fours and whatnot, I'll throw Desert Law in there because I think he's going to be much higher than that 5-1. And maybe that'll help some people out there with a little bit of a price.
See, I agree. See, you starting to make cases for more and more horses here, right? And it's like, we didn't even talk about Fashionable Be Fast, who does nothing but win. And he was, right behind McKenzie last time out. The cutback should help him. And, Mark Glatt's got 2 horses in here. He's also got Law Abiding Citizen, who won the Lawmakers Mile last year. He's coming off a really good win last out. I think he's really intriguing. I feel like Mark Glatt's going to hit him, both up front and coming from right off the pace. And the one drawback for me with Collusion Illusion is the fact that he's 3 against older horses. Well, this is Mark Glatt's, 6-year-old right here. So, like you said, I think that I'm with you. Paging through this race, especially with the scratch of McKenzie, you can take a case for a lot of these horses in here.
Well, and I kind of wanted to like Wild Man Jack a little bit too. I don't know how you feel about him, Ray, but I'm looking at his record, and I know the last race was pretty bad. Ultimately, what sort of turned me against him was I looked at some of his works in June online, and I just wasn't crazy with the way he's been training. I don't know, maybe that's leading into that poor performance of the Shakertown. I don't know if he's the same horse that he was at one point, or maybe he's just not 100%, on his game right now, but he's clearly a horse with a lot of ability, and Rispoli shows up. So I think you have to give him a little respect.
Well, interesting. He'll try dirt for the first time here. And
and the one thing
on the dirt, and you can tell by his recent work in 46 and change from the gate at Del Mar, he can get over it.
The one thing about I have a hard time handicapping Doug O'Neill's horses because he doesn't train them as much as he runs them, and sometimes he'll run them into condition, and you just never know when they're going to pop up and win. And he's very streaky. He's not having a good meet so far, but when he starts to win, he wins in bunches. So
Ray, have we talked you off of $100 to win on Collusion Illusion and on any other horse? You're going to spread a little now?
No, I'm going to stay with Collusion Illusion. But if this were real money, I would probably parlay it to the next race to a horse that I think was named after your guest today, Christina. Cheerful Charm in the 11th race. Trained by some guy, Dan Blocker. Did he used to be on Bonanza? Was that the guy that?
You may have heard of him. I'll tell you something about her debut race too, because it was at Santa Anita, and I was one of the only people that was there media-wise at the time. And coming right in front of where I was around the 3/8 pole, Rispoli had to sit down and check really hard. And it was the strangest thing because she almost sat down herself and then hopped a few strides before she got her momentum again. I was probably the closest person to the action and couldn't figure out what happened. And neither could he. He said we were in tight a little bit and she kind of panicked and she just stopped herself. So I think, she's breaking from the rail. Pratt needs to get her to the outside. She seems to me like she is learning and just needs a clear trip. She's much better than what she showed in that debut race.
Yeah, I was sorry to see Rispoli get off, but then, it's not such a bad move to go from him to Flavian Pratt. So, but good luck. Dan's horses are running well, and I hope they continue
She's going to go way down from 5-1.
She might. We had the most brutal beat of all time yesterday. Did you guys see it?
I did.
Oh my gosh. I still don't believe it. Dan was being congratulated in the winner's circle. I feel like somebody needs to give us a good omen today, hopefully.
It fooled Larry, I think. It fooled the cameraman, and it fooled me.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
He was ready to fire yesterday. What'd you say?
Christina's owed one today.
Yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
All right, so we talked about that race. Christina, you always have a stats race lens horse. Are you allowed to just kind of give us a sneak peek of who it's going to be today from TVG?
Yeah. So my stats horse comes much earlier in the program. Let's see. It's Officious. I'm trying to find what race that is. I think it might be race 6. Does that sound right? Going back through. Yeah, race 6, number 7. Officious for Phil D'Amato. Big effort after that. I thought she needed it. She has very good gate speed. And pulling on the second off the layoff are really good. I liked Sweet and Cheeky in there as well, but I don't think she's as fast away from the gate. And I think Officious being just a little bit more forwardly placed, since we are going the flat 5 furlongs here versus the 5.5 that she had up at Santa Anita. I think that is going to help her. So yeah, Officious was the stats race lens horse. It's a great card though. There are some really nice horses. General Mathis in race 4 will be a price for Kristen Mulhall. I'm intrigued by that gelding too. Spencer's an appearance. Hi, Spencer.
I told you Christina's like my mom. All these children are probably
Future horse player
right now, quietly behaving, and mine is climbing up my leg like a monkey. Spencer does have a pick today, though. Spencer has a choice.
I don't know how you two do. Been busy all the time like this.
I kicked mine out of the house for 20 minutes. They'll be back screaming soon.
I just mean in general, not during this.
Yeah. We're down in Delmar where the weather's nice. I had to come home because my older one needs to go to the pediatrician, and it's 104 here.
Oh,
Crazy, right?
no good. Get back down here, Michelle.
You can't hear me?
A little bit.
You've been cutting in and out a lot. I don't know.
I think when you lean forward towards the computer, it's picking up more. No.
Not at all. No, it must have a loose wire.
No bueno.
Well, should I take over?
Let's take this off.
Let's go old school. How's old school work?
There we go. Better.
Oh, okay. Well, so much for technology. Jeez,
Now I can hear you. Oh, there we go.
Bad host who doesn't have technology on their show at all, right? Okay, well, we have a huge race today. Obviously, the Grade 1 Bing Crosby. There's going to be 11 races on the Del Mar card today. I'm sure Christina will be at least around for part of it. Ray, I don't know. Are you allowed to go? Are you an owner? Or do you still have to stand in the parking lot and watch?
I'm actually going to make my first visit today.
Okay.
To the track. I mean, according to the rules, I need to spend the time in the press box, except for the stakes race. So I am coming over today, and I'm looking forward to it, although I hear it's very strange.
Well, it is definitely was strange at Santa Anita. I think it's probably strange at Del Mar as well. But if you are there and you could be there, make sure still to take pictures and post it. #HomeTurfClub so we can get those pictures up. I know Sam Siegel's been doing a really great job taking videos so you can see the social distancing that's going on, but just the kind of eerie feeling that you get from not having 100,000 people at the races. So we'd like to see your pictures and what you're wearing. You said last week that you had a special shirt for when you get back to the races. Are you going to be wearing that today?
No, because I think when it's back to the races, when it's normal again, you know, when fans can go.
Hey, now there's all kind of like stipulations on when you're going to wear, you know, your normal stuff.
Was that for me, Michelle? Sorry, I missed it.
No, that I wanted Ray. Ray had this said last week he was going to have a shirt that he was going to wear when he got back to the races, but now he said he's saving it for like a special when it gets back to normal racing.
When there's a crowd there, you know, it's just that's what's going to seem weird to me, is because it's not just there's just so many people are there every year. The people at the gate, the John the Ice Cream Man. You know, the ushers, because I don't spend time in the press box when I'm in Del Mar. I have a box, and it's just going to be so different to go there and not see a soul that I'm used to seeing.
I'll tell you what it feels like. We were talking about this over the opening weekend. It feels like a rehearsal. It feels like we're just sort of practicing for something. We don't have the crowd, but I think now the new layer of having to watch their joy that starts to bring the feelings that we're all used to back a bit more.
One thing that I noticed Major League Baseball started doing is propping up cardboard cutouts behind home plate. And
nice.
And one of them is a horse owner, the Marlins man, Lawrence Levy from Miami, and he was very proud of the fact that they put his cardboard cutout behind home plate at, I think it was in Kansas City last night for the game with the White Sox. Maybe they need to do that at the races behind the winner's circle. Put some cardboard cutouts of some of the normal characters that we see at the track.
Everyone needs to have like a Del Margarita in their hand, and they need to like put some lines at like the concessions.
Yeah.
Spencer definitely wants to tell you guys his signal. He wants to go to race number 7 today. And he is a really big fan. He told me of Eddie's new dream for Ben Cecil, a first-time starter. Handicappers report said she's a must-follow from her last couple of works, and she's a full sister to one of my favorite horses that's running right now, Jam and Eddie. So, all
right,
that's Spencer's pick. He says he likes her. He watched her work, and that's who he wants to play today. 15-1.
I like it. I'm taking notes for later.
Just remember, if she hits that, he cannot speak, so he cannot host the show in future. He just has other things on his mind.
It's a good race. Mamba Queen is fast. Taming the Tigers. I mean, those horses are going to take a lot of money. I love the Mr. Biggs, but I watched Big Cali Girls works. She looks a little green so far. She might need.
Yeah, she wasn't coming back but I wasn't a big fan of either.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, we'll see if Spencer's pick can come through. So we're going to see if Christina can get us off of the dock. We want someone to have a score on this show. Ray, we're going to be following you along and seeing if your money goes back up, towards the even keel mark. Although this week I'll be rooting with you because I also love Collusion Illusion, but I'm going to be with Christina and spread here as well. Might have to put like $5 on every horse in the race just so I can say I'm a winner.
I'm surprised nobody. Well, we all like Fashionably Fast, but I guess
I'm gonna play Fashionably Fast and Collusion Illusion are the two horses that I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-horse race. We'll see.
Well, should be really exciting. So thank you guys for joining us. Best of luck to everybody. We'll be here again next week at 11 o'clock to continue on. Don't forget, you can play against Ray every day. Go to dmtc.com and go down to contests every single day. We can play against Ray and see where you get in the standings. The overall winner, by the way, gets a drawing or gets put into a drawing to win tickets to the Breeders' Cup, which will be held at Del Mar next year. And next week, we'll see you without Spencer in tow.
Bye, friends.
Thanks, guys. Good luck today.